Let Alright, alright. Now that... Oh yeah, now that the music's kicking up, I think it's time. Oh yeah. I can only you guys can only see my hands, so I have to like dance with my feet. Welcome. Welcome everybody to the Ultra Pancake stream. I'm the titular Ultra Pancake. Today, we're gonna finish up this little guy. Yeah, I'm a little guy. We started sewing this little guy last week. We're gonna finish him today. Maybe, just maybe if we have time, we'll see. Maybe we'll make him a buddy. Howdy, One Mario Bro. Welcome as always. I got me chocolate covered peanuts. So I'm ready. I'm ready to crunch loud. I didn't, I don't think I put social eating in the thing. I normally do. Social eating. If you don't like mukbang, this stream is not for you. Okay. Let me know if the music's alright at an alright volume. Let me know if it's too loud. Oh. Oh. So. Oh yes, I saw, liked, and retweeted that very page, not but, like 2 minutes ago. I seen it. I seen it with my own 2 eyeballs. How? I appreciate your effort and dedication. Because surely I do not deserve much effort put in to a fan art, but I appreciate it. Wham! Fabric. Alright. There's cat hair on this fabric. Oh boy. Love that. You love to see it. Love cat hair. There's cat hair all over the fabric, but will the cat appear on stream? No. The second a stream starts, she's nowhere to be found. It'll be reporting, alright. So, I think that we're gonna make this little dude. I kinda wanna give him a little Monstera leaf popping out the top. I don't know if it's pronounced Monstera or Monstera. It's spelled Monstera, you know, that plant. You did hear her sneezing before. Well, let's see. Baby Minty, you wanna come be on stream? Oh, you're in a box. I got some stuff in the mail today I'm looking upon her now inside of the box. You in a box. Bless you. Monster Hunter got a Mii Fighter costume? Is that true? Did Monster Hunter get a Mii Fighter costume? Word from the boyfriend off screen. See, I saw him watching the Smash thing. But he said he turned it off the second they started talking about Mii Fighters. Oh, that's neat, I guess. Yes, the kitty. She's inside of the Target box that arrived today. And it delivered me this new lamp. This lamp right here that you cannot see, but is sort of blasting very powerful light down here. Maybe too powerful. It's brand new. I got it just today. It's pretty neat. It's an alright lamp. I'm not super happy with it, but my old one was really falling to shit. Anyhow. I don't know that I can coax the baby Minty out of the box to appear on the stream. You wanna come be on camera for a sec? Come on. Well, I think she's laid down in the box and is now ignoring me. My cat doesn't like me, so... Good lighting? I was thinking this lighting's like too harsh. I don't know. I don't know anything about lighting, so... Anyway. Let's, So yeah. I drew up some Monstera leaves. I think I might give them just two little sproutsies. Two little leafies popping out of the top of his head. And I was trying to think, how do I want to... Oh, I think I heard her sneeze again. I was thinking, how do I want to make it so they will, like, stick... Like, how do I essentially make the stem parts of these, like, not floppy, right? Like, I'm gonna have to probably wire them. Which I might... So we might have to install the leaves before the head attaches. We'll have to see. I've got pipe cleaner for our stem. To wire it. So we use that. So why don't we cut out our leaves? This Persona music is actually kind of loud in my headphones. Let me know, is the music too loud? Looks like it actually might be kind of loud. Is that, I don't know, is that too loud? The interrogation room music, though, is kind of overbearing purposefully. Even this one's kind of loud. It is kind of. How's that? I want it to be ambient, so you can still, like, hear it and feel the vibes, but I don't want it to overwhelm my speaking. Let me know. Yeah. I saw a tweet that said exactly that about how Nintendo's N fell off. And that exact joke, everybody's making that exact joke about it. Well, we're back in the Velvet Room, everybody. Yeah, I didn't watch any of the Smash stuff, because I just couldn't care less about the Xenoblade lady. I don't care. Just don't care. I mean, I don't really play Smash on the regular anyway. I only kind of play Smash if someone comes over to my home and is like, hey, let's play Smash. And I'm like, alright. Let's see. Let's cut some little, like... Okay, so now I'm hearing from the other room some mischievous noises from inside of that box that the cat is in. Some mischievous, mysterious sounds. I don't know what she's doing in there. So if you're not familiar with this plant, you're probably familiar with the leaves, just because they're a very popular, like, design aesthetic thing right now. These plants have the leaves that are like this shape, and they have this sort of like sort of separations on the sides. I don't know, I wonder if somebody got a hold of that big N. I have to imagine though, if it like hit the ground, it probably, it almost certainly was like destroyed. I can't imagine it would have been recognizably still an N after hitting the ground from that far. What do you think? That's a leaf? So imagine he's gonna have like a little stem coming out, and the big leaf will be hanging down over his face a little bit, like, We'll give him two. We'll give him two little stalks with little leaf C's. What are you doing over there? The cat has proceeded to just now, she's just very jazzed. Don't scratch on the couch. I'm gonna throw you in the toilet. Flush you back down to your home planet. I'm very excited. After dinner tonight, I'm gonna get back on Valheim, because the other day Henry and I, in our Valheim server that has sort of accidentally swelled to be like full of people. If y'all are not familiar with the game, it's a Viking-themed survival game. And our server is so full of stuff now that's like just things people have built and things that it has caused significant frame rate issues on Henry's computer. And so we decided to build a boat and sail the high seas to find a new place to live away from the bad frame rate. But it was like we decided to do that for some reason at like 4 in the morning, which was a really bad idea. Because then it was like 6 in the morning and we still hadn't found a safe place to land. Oh, I guarantee you my character is in Valheim is not wearing cool Viking armor. She's wearing like entire... She's wearing the troll armor right now. And the troll armor in that game is super ugly. I look like I'm a superhero that was just like my whole spandex thing. It's gonna be bright blue. All bright blue, baby. No, I look really dumb and bad in that game. Hold on, let me look up. I assume the Monstera stems are like brown, probably, right? No, I guess they are green. Okay. I want to use a different green. I believe that would fit her aesthetic. What? Dressing really stupid? Because yeah, that kind of does. I also have this green. I don't know, would that look good as like the stem, like a lighter green? Maybe I'll just use the same green. I'll just use the same green. Alright, so we're gonna want... Does have anything written on it? No. Alright, let's take some card stock. As you can see over here, this is just my pile of random scrap papers. The fact that it's goblin armor. It's troll armor, thank you very much. The goblins are too powerful and will one-hit kill me. And that is why Henry and I were sailing for several hours trying to find a safe place to live in that game, because we kept running into the plains biome, which is where goblins live, and they will kick our asses very bad because we're not strong enough to fight them yet. So, okay, let's measure out. Gonna make pencil. Let's see. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna see if this even works. Actually, you know, I could probably do this without turning it inside out. Probably. We're gonna use this as a guide to cut out our stems. How long? How long do you think? It's a good length. Maybe like here. Make the big one like taller, and we'll make the other one a bit littler. It'll be cute. So, well, the way it works in Valheim is, if you die, your items that you had on your person, essentially get, like, remain where you died, and so you have to go and physically get them, if you want them back. And Henry and I are out in the middle of nowhere because we sailed away from our base and away from everything else on our server. Because the world in Valheim is super, super big. And so you can, like, go pretty far away from where you started. And, like, when you respawn, you'll respawn the last, like, place that you slept in a bed. Like, you know, similar to Minecraft, and you have a bed that's your respawn point. And yeah, and you have to go back. So it's like Ark. I haven't played Ark, but probably. Most survival games have a similar corpse run type of thing. Like in Minecraft, all your items explode out of you, but it's riskier in Minecraft because they, like, despawn after, like, what, 4 minutes? Something like that. Much riskier in Minecraft. At least in Valheim, the stuff that flies out of your asshole stays there forever. Oh, do I not have green thread over here? I just finished a commission today, so I have all the, like, thread and shit for that over here. Where's my green? Hold on, I need to get green thread. They do not disappear. Or I think that maybe your stuff will disappear, but it's like a really, really long time. Like, I don't know that... The game's still pretty new, so I don't know exactly, like, how long stuff takes in that game. But in general, the stuff that your dead body leaves behind doesn't disappear, and you can always go get it for the most part. Green thread in various shades. What will happen though is the place you died is marked on the map, but if you die trying to go and get it over and over again, like, eventually it'll stop displaying, like, older corpse spots. Like, it's so you kind of want to be careful. I mean, you can always manually mark stuff on your map, so I guess you could do that, but you know, you don't want to just be dying all the time. It's not very Viking-like. So I have these, like, brighter greens, and then I have this, like, muted green. Maybe kind of like the muted green a bit more. It's more earthy. I'm going earthy here today, folks. Earthy. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool game. It's still early access, so, like, you know, it's got problems for sure. But it's because it's, like, a very small team whose early access game, like, blew up in popularity very suddenly and surprisingly, so, you know, they're coming out with updates and stuff, but I think it'll still be shaky for a bit, so don't have too high of expectations. But I've seen lots of streamers have been playing Valheim, so you could try it out if you think you'd like it. Oh, wait. The baby is here. The baby. Baby Minty, come here. You wanna come be on stream? Come here. Come here, Pee-Pee. No, the second I talk to her, she walks out of the room. Why? Why are you so cruel to me? Come here. Come here, Peepo. Come here. Come here. She's just walking further away the more I speak to her. Why? My cat hates me, man. It's not fair. Other people's cats like them and like interacting with them. Not mine. Oh yeah, like I think they're already working on, cause they passed, like, what, didn't Valheim pass, like, a huge sales goal recently? 5 million sales yesterday of their early access game, so it's already been exploding. Alright, I'm wondering if this will be too thick. But I don't know if there's anything I can really do if I want to fit, like, cleaner in there, so. Yeah, I don't have any thinner wire or anything on me, so this'll have to do. Yeah, it's a really neat game. I somehow, like, we made a server that was just meant to be like, you know, Henry and me and our friends. But then, like, one of my my parents' friend, like a, I don't know how to refer to him. I never know how to refer to him. 'Cause he's my friend, but he is a family friend that I've known a long time. And he was playing it, so I was like, oh, join our server then, dude. And then he talked my dad into getting it. And so my dad joined our server. And then my sister's fiance also, like, was playing Valheim and found out we had a server. And then joined it. And then my dad got, because my dad is part of, like, a guild that he plays all his MMOs with. And so he got some of his friends from his guild to join. Now our server is, like, all full of people. It's weird. I've never played like a game like this on a server with so many people before, and it's bizarre. It's bizarre just to walk around and, like, see stuff people are making and, like, have no idea who made it or why. It is nice to have a game I can play with my dad, though, because my dad and I don't really have... we don't have very similar tastes in video games a lot of the time. So my dad plays a lot of MMOs, and I don't enjoy MMOs for the most part, so... So it is nice to be able to play something together with him. It's kind of fun. Okay. So this is going to be our stem. About this long. Snap that off. And I always, whenever I'm using, like, whenever I'm using pipe cleaners to wire stuff, I always use my rounded pliers to just twist the edges down into a little curled. You essentially curl them around the wire so that it makes the pointy edge of the pipe cleaner folded in, so you don't pokey yourself and it doesn't poke through the fabric. Would never expect a dad to like MMOs. Dude, people who were... let me think. People who were, like, young adults when WoW came out are now dads. Like... cause my dad played WoW. Well, I mean, he still plays WoW sometimes, but my dad got into WoW when it came out. And he was really into, like, Diablo 2. My dad's played a ton of different, like... I mean, I know Diablo 2 is not an MMO, but... at the time it was, you know, also the hot Blizzard game. Alongside WoW, so you know. So I'm wondering, can I attach this to its head? I'm wondering if I need the wire to actually go into its head. No, I shouldn't. It should be fine. Like that. It should be fine like that, right? Yeah. I'm gonna say it's fine. I was wondering if I should have the base of the wire be inside the head just to make sure it doesn't, like, kind of tip over, like, in the crease, like, in between where, like, the wire and the top of the head is, if it doesn't just, like, and, like, teeter over, but it probably won't. Probably won't. Attach this guy to our leaf. Now, I didn't come up with an idea for how I'm gonna attach it to the leaf exactly, so... I guess I'm just gonna ladder stitch it on. You'll see the stitching through the top, but I don't know if there's another way for me to do it. So, yeah. guess since I'm not putting the wire through the head, I can just start attaching our little dude's body together. Yeah, I know that, believe me, I've had a lot of troubles in the past with wiring things on plushies. But for this guy, because it's so little and this felt is pretty thick, like this felt in particular is actually really thick, unusually. So I think this will be fine. If like it was for something longer and heavier, the weight would be more of a problem, but I think this guy, like, you know, it's really small, like it's not gonna weigh itself down, I don't think. Think it'll be fine. But yeah. Got big Viking plans tonight in Valheim. I'll tell you though, I really have not been doing much Vikinging in Valheim. Cause like so it's like it's a survival game, right? You know, there's monsters about that are trying to always give you the booga booga while you're just running around like picking up berries and sticks off the ground so you can like build a house and not die. You know. And I really have been focused the entire game on building my house and not at all on like fighting any enemies really, or because the big thing about Valheim and why I think a lot of people are kind of into it more than other survival games is that there are bosses in the game as well. There's I think currently like 5 bosses that essentially, as you know, do the survival parts of the game and advance like your gear, your like armor and weapons that you have, you will become powerful enough to like fight the first boss, and then the first boss will unlock for you like, I think the first boss gives you a pickaxe, and so then you can like get ore, and with ore you can make stronger weapons and stronger armor and blah blah blah, and then you can fight the next boss, and that will give you something that'll help you, you know, unlock more survival mechanic stuff and so on. And there is like a big final boss too, apparently. I think they are going to come out with more bosses though. I think they said there's just only 5 currently. But I think a lot of people who don't normally get into survival games are kind of into this one because it has more of a specific goal, like a specific combat goal. Now, I don't give a shit about that. I couldn't care less. I fought the first boss just for the sake of it, just to say I did it. Cause you can refight bosses at any time. And so like even if somebody on your server has already like killed the first boss, you can still just go and resummon it and fight it again, so everybody can fight it. Yeah, and I just did it to say I did it. It wasn't very hard, because I had already had a weapon somebody gave me that was like more powerful than what I was supposed to have. But I was like, whatever. I don't care. I'm just building my house. Yeah, I'm kind of being the opposite of a Viking, is what I'm saying. I'm dressed in all blue jeans, because that's what the troll armor looks like. My Canadian tuxedo, and I'm just building a house. You do mining. It's not... There's not really a big underground... sort of... I mean, like, you can't really go underground at all, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Because, you know, in Minecraft, obviously, you just, like, can dig anywhere and go underground, and there's, like, caves and, you know, underground mines and stuff. But in Valheim, all the ore and stuff is just, like, big ol' rock things that are just kind of at the surface of the ground. And, like, they'll be, like, somewhat underground. Like, you have to dig a little bit to, like, get, you know, get at, like, an entire spawned copper, like, deposit. But you can't actually physically go, like, in an underground cave exactly. The only thing that's sort of like that is there are dungeons that are in the world that, like, just have valuable resources but are also full of enemies. But you go through a loading screen to go into those, so they're clearly not, like, physically in the same, like, space as your proper rest of your survival world. Oh, I had some glue on these earlier. I'm clipping the pipe cleaner. I got gunk all stuck to them. Blech. Like, if you, in Valheim, if you dig down, this is another very early access thing. The game is randomly generated, yes. There are some things that are always going to be in your world, but, like, their specific locations are different for every server. And they have, like, a seed, like, thing, the way Minecraft does it. You seed your world, like, with... I actually don't know. I didn't make the server, so I don't know if you, like, use a name, like, you type in a seed word, like, in Minecraft, that'll generate it or whatever. I don't actually know. But, yeah, it's kind of weird in Valheim that if you dig, because depending on your elevation, what happens when you dig, if you're close enough to sea level, you're just gonna dig and water will be there. Because the way the ocean works in the game is that clearly the game world just has, like, a water level. That water is just, like, at this level in the game, water. And that water clips into everything else that is on that level. So, so when you dig down near sea level, you're gonna hit dirt that, like, once it's destroyed, there's just water there now. And as you go down, like, you can only dig so far until, like, you're just swimming and you can't dig anymore while you're swimming. So, because I was like, man, can I make, like, a hobbit house that's, like, underground? But it doesn't appear so because of the way, because I'll just hit water and I won't be able to go, like, deep enough to have an underground house. But I want, like, maybe I'll mess around, though, because if I go up to, like, maybe the mountains, maybe I could. Because that might be far enough above sea level that maybe you could, like, dig really deep down underneath the ground. Yeah, this water doesn't have any physics. Like, you can't pick it up. There's no buckets, like in Minecraft, to, like, physically pick up water. If you... And, like, there's no... Water doesn't have any, like, flow or anything to it. Like, my dad was thinking about making a swimming pool, but there's just no way to, like, get water from one place to another, because the water just exists at a certain level. So if you did want to make a swimming pool, you just have to dig to a certain level to where you hit sea level in the ground. And yeah, it clips into everything, so if you build, like, we had a forge sort of area that we had built accidentally too close to sea level, so when the tide would, like, come up, like, as waves would come up, like, you'd see just from the floor, water would, like, rise up from under the floor and go down. And it would keep putting out, like, the fire, like, the campfire that was in there, and it was, like, embarrassing. No, there's no buckets, because the water has no physics at all to, like, being manipulated by the players. At least as of right now. I mean, maybe that'll change. Early access. Really, I've just been in it to build myself some nice houses. But every flippin' time I get close to finishing a damn house, somebody's like, alright, time to move. And I'm like, well, what the fuck, fucking... the hell? Just trying to build my fucking house. Y'all keep moving me all around. I can't even, don't even have time to live in my damn house. The building is really bizarre. Because the way building works is that, the different building materials... How do I explain it? I guess the way it works is that... So imagine this is like a wood pole in my house. And I put that down. Now when I look, if I mouse over this wood pole, it will, like while I'm in the building menu, it'll display as blue. And that means it's directly touching the ground. And so then if I take this wood pole and put it on top, and I mouse over this wood pole, it'll display as green, because it's connected to something that's touching the ground. And so there's this color-coded system that essentially shows how stable something is. And the higher and higher you build, the less stable it becomes, and at a certain point, you can't, like, it'll be too unstable to, like, remain standing, and it'll break. So you have to keep that in mind when you're building, is, like, how supported everything actually is. Because, you know, if you try to build something that is, like, not strong enough, you'll, like, put a plank there, and then the plank will just explode, and you'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, you can't make a random platform in the sky. Everything actually has to be, like, physically supported. And the different materials have, like, different, like, how strong they are and how, like, tall you can build with them and stuff. So it makes building a house actually pretty interesting. More puzzle-like than in Minecraft. In Minecraft, you know, you can kind of just do whatever. In Valheim, it's a little more, like, you have to put a little more thought into how you want it to work to get the look you want. It's kind of interesting. One of the guys on our server, when Henry was playing yesterday, apparently at some point was like, what is this house that's just out in the middle of the woods? Is this the Blair Witch house? It looks like the Blair Witch house. And he was almost certainly referring to my house. And I was like, yes. Yes, I'm glad. Yeah, building a house takes time for sure in the game, but I kind of like it though. It really feels substantial. It really does. If the building feels very substantial. Yeah, look, he's gonna have these all sticking out. What do you think of that? All right. Let's attach this lad. Let's attach all his body up to his own self. The plush witch house for sure. Let's attach yourself to your own body. random plushies around in the woods. I'll tell you one thing, that there is a lot of random... The game has an issue with, there's no way to permanently destroy items in the game currently. And there's like just a basic enemy type in the game that you run into all the time, and like once you've gotten a little bit of gear, like they're no problem. You're like just swatting them away all the time. They're just there to be annoying. And they're like loot items. You end up with like stacks and stacks of all these loot items that you just don't need or want. And there's actually no way to dispose of them in the game currently. And so you just have to, like... You either have to row out into the damn ocean somewhere and just throw them into the ocean and don't ever go back there. Or, because of the way this game works, your character... This is actually pretty unique to this game. Your character maintains between servers. So, like, your levels, gear, you know, stats, everything is just local to your game, and you can just hop to any server with your character. So what people have been doing is creating servers that are just trash dumps, where they just go on the server with all their garbage they don't want and just leave it there and go back to their main server, and then when the garbage server gets too full, they delete it. Yeah, you can't craft, like... I mean, there's things you can craft with them, but there's a certain point where if you end up with, like... We have, like, hundreds of these stupid, like, glowing eye thingies they drop, because we just don't need that many. We just don't. Yeah, you can't burn them, you can't... There's nothing you can do. Just throw them somewhere and don't come back to the place where you threw them. That's the only option. It's... Yeah, you can imagine how that wasn't exactly a priority, you know, in their development for this game. They wanted to, like, get the game to go first before thinking of these little detail things like that, but it is kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, you can... I believe Valheim is only $20 currently. So... And yeah, it's early access, so it's definitely not... Like, there's definitely bugs and weird stuff. Like, sometimes items just fall through the ground and are gone. Sometimes, you know, shit... Like, you'll chop down a tree, and then, for some reason, like, all the wood is just floating in the air. And you can't pick it up, and you're like, well, shit. So, you know, it's not perfect, but it's... Definitely got a unique spin on the survival genre. So, yeah, I don't know, try it out. Try it out with your friends. Maybe, you know, you'll like it. I have never seen a game that has united so many of my, my friends before, so... They probably have a place to suggest ideas. Like, I'm sure all of these things, 5 million people have purchased this game, so it's almost certainly they're constantly being told, like, hey, you should add this, you should add that, you know, so I'm sure they know. They can just only develop so quickly. Yeah, the only big problem we've had is just that since we have so many people and that have built so many structures, like I mentioned before, that are... When you're near our main base camp, the frame rate becomes extremely bad. And, like, for me, it's... Well, it's more recently got pretty bad for me. But for, like, Henry, he was down to, like, single-digit frame rate in our base camp. Like, And that's bad. That's you're just at that point. You're looking at a comic book of of the game, you know. But if you just like move away from all the structures, which is why we took to C. You wonder if there's a server with skyscrapers? Oh yeah, people have modded servers where like the support rules for structures don't count. Like they have servers where they just turn that off so you can just build infinitely up. People have totally done that. Yeah, it runs like a PowerPoint presentation if you, depending on how powerful your computer is and how many structures you have in a small area. Because like I said, you know, if you move away from our base camp, then the game runs fine. So it seems to really just be affected by how many structures are built in the area you're in. And since everyone on our server all built like a house, right, all in the same place, it caused just very bad frame rate. You know. I'd say even if you think that sounds too buggy that you'd like want to wait, I'd say buy it now though while it's like still $20 in case like when it comes out early access, you know, it might cost more. I'd buy it now while it's only $20 and then just wait on it until you hear like, oh, it came out early access. Like I'd say that'd be worth it. It's really cool. And like I said, I don't get to play games with my dad too often. So it's been very neat, and he's been extremely excited about being able to play a game with me. You'd like to see the fireworks when they turn on the physics. Oh yeah, I'm sure that... Well, it's not exactly fireworks. When structures fall down, they essentially just explode into the materials they're made of. So like a pole, when it like explodes from instability, it just explodes into like wood. Pancake, that is I! Pancake! I made pancakes yesterday, actually. I made chocolate chip pancakes because I was up really early in the morning and I had to wash dog poop off of a dog. So I made pancakes. I had an exciting day yesterday. What's up, CleanODev? Talking about Valheim. Have you heard of it? It's the hottest new survival game where you're a Viking and the frame rate's bad. You're a Viking at like 7 frames per second. Cannibal. Well, to be fair, I did make chocolate chip pancakes before the dog got poop on itself. Because what I did was I was like, I made the pancakes. The dog, we were babysitting my friend's dog for the day. Just for a couple hours. And this dog has anxiety very bad. So she just kind of runs around and cries. Just all the time. So it was hard for me to identify like if she had to go pee-pees. But I figured at some point I was like, I'll take you into the backyard and we'll just see if you need to go pee-poo. And lo and behold, I don't even know if it was dog poop or just cuz we normally don't have, my neighbors have dogs. But generally, they don't. I've never seen dog poop in our yard before. But the dog I was watching identified some poop on the ground and just proceeded to do that thing dogs do, where they just like and roll on it. Oh no, it's actually been it's not been too cold here past couple days, just regular cold. The best thing about Valheim is looking at things close up. I kind of like the weird style Valheim has. I like that it's sort of a weird, like, the model quality, like it's slightly low poly, like a PS2-ish model quality, and then the textures are pixel art, and it's really bizarre looking. But I think I think it's neat. I like how unique it is. But then like the lighting is super modern. There's like god rays coming down from the sky. It's super weird. So many texture. Nope, this head goes on straight. Normally what I do when I'm making actually like plushies for commissions and stuff, when I sew the heads on, I'll have two things of thread. And I'll start one at the front of the head in the center and center it, like center it to the body. And then I'll have one thread start on the back and center and like anchor it center to the back of the body to make sure everything's all facing forward. But for little guys like these, just freehand it. Just freehand it and see how we end up. I definitely just like spit peanut crumb on my hand. Blech. My plushies are extremely durable. Oh my, thank you. I honestly don't have a good sense of how durable my own plushies are, because I just like I've never kept one for myself personally. So I don't really know what kind of rigors they can go through, but I've never had any complaints of stuff like falling apart or anything, so I hope that means I've been doing a good job. You know, probably should have put the arms on before I put the head on, now that I think about it. Oh well. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. Yours is well up out of the way. I'm glad to hear that the ones you have, Mario Bro, are doing well. I thought about recently making a plushie that looks like Penelope. Wait, that looks like Penelope over here. I thought about making a plushie that looks like her. For all you know, it's all together with 2 stitches of cotton thread. It's certainly more than 2 stitches. Well, if it was only 2 stitches, I would have been able to make it way faster. I was thinking about making a plushie of Penelope, but just oy vey, there's already too many plushies around in our bed area. So I just don't need any more. I did make one of her before, but I'm not very happy with it. It was kind of something I did, like, and I actually rushed it. I made it in like 2 days or something. I'm not super happy with it, and I have sort of a different idea for what I'd want to do if I did it again. Oh, is that the end of the playlist? Oh, no. YouTube just doesn't think I'm actually still listening. Thank you, YouTube. So yeah, I'd like to make another one, but I also just don't have time, generally, to, like, fool around and make stuff that isn't for commissions. Literally, the only reason I'm making this little guy is because I'm doing it on stream. I'm doing it on stream, so it's technically... It's technically profitable in that it is creating content for me. And potentially, you know, encouraging people to purchase from me or to donate to me. It looks good for a rush job, thank you. It's just, I don't know, there's something about the style of it and stuff, I'm like, it's not exact. I feel like I would want to go with a different look for her. Wait, what time is it? Okay, it's only 10. Ow. But yeah, generally, it's hard to find time to do arts and crafts that are not, explicitly profitable. Because I need monies to live. Ooh. Yeah, I probably should have put the arms on before the head. The head's kind of in the way. Meh. Man, the Persona 5 soundtrack rules! This song rules. I love this song. Yeah, I sold out to Big Pay Rent and E. Oh yeah, I've seen people that buy those like big Gigantor Pokemon plushies. I wish I could live that life. If I was exorbitantly rich, I would love to have a room that's just all plushies. It's just empty except for just all a bunch of plushies on the floor, and I'd just go in there and I'd lay and roll around. And that would be it. I'd just lay and roll around. I also would maybe create a very large hermit crab enclosure and adopt a bunch of hermit crabs. I really miss having hermit crabs. Oh, that lady with the Marie plush meme. Yes, yes. I'm familiar. Yeah, I really miss having hermit crabs. But it's one of those things where, like, it's not... You can't ethically get a pet hermit crab. The industry that catches and sells them as pets is, like, horrid. And the treatment of hermit crabs at pet stores is horrid and is animal abuse. So you can't really get a hermit crab in any way that isn't, like, giving money to those organizations and companies and stuff that do that stuff. And it's like, Oh god, yeah, those like stands at malls and at like cause I'll tell you, the first hermit crab I ever bought is when I first went to Virginia Beach with my family the summer after I graduated high school. And yeah, I saw them just at like a store on the boardwalk and I was like, I want hermit crabs. These guys rule. And I like that night I went back to our hotel room and just got on my laptop. I did a whole bunch of researches, like, what do hermit crabs need? What do they eat? What, like... And most people don't do that. And, like, the things that pet stores sell for hermit crabs it's all crap. It's all bullshit. Like, the hermit crab food they sell at pet stores, it's crap, it's bullshit. It is not enough for them to live. The enclosures at pet stores are not... I don't know if you guys want to hear all my complaints about the treatment of hermit crabs in pet stores and things. But those places at like malls and on boardwalks and stuff are just the conditions that the crabs are kept in. If a store like that had like kept dogs or cats in that kind of position, that they would be arrested for animal abuse. But because hermit crabs are not cute and are not mammals, they're not afforded those kinds of protections, unfortunately. And nobody cares. Nobody cares whenever people abuse hermit crabs. Sadly. Same thing with most, like, fish. Because realistically, honestly, this is something, like, I get it. Like, hermit crabs are not fit to be pets. They're not. They actually take a huge amount of work and are very delicate. I mean, they're literally prey animals that are sort of born to be eaten. So they're very delicate and sensitive to, like, having the right habitat and environment, and they die very easily. And people don't do the research required to actually, keep them properly. And it's sad. It's real sad. They're supposed to live, like, years. I don't remember off the top of my head what, like, the sort of max age for hermit crabs is, but... The crabs that I had all lived, like, for several years. You don't think you would have been a good hermit crab owner then? I mean, to be fair, like, pet stores and places that sell them don't do the work to actually, like, educate people on how much it takes to maintain them. Like, they give you, like, they fucking gave me, at when, you know, I bought my first 2 hermit crabs at the beach, they gave me them in this, like, mesh container. Yeah, it was like a wire mesh container. Completely open air. And that's, like, even the type of thing they were kept in, was this big box with a wire mesh. And the problem with that is that hermit crabs, they need a high humidity environment to be able to breathe. So open air containers are very bad because their enclosure, you know, isn't humid enough when it's open, and it makes it physically hard for them to breathe, and they often suffocate as a result. So yeah, it's not good all around. You need a humidifying system for their enclosures, and thing, at least with hermit crabs, like, if you want to give them, like, actually good food, it's not hard, because you can just give them fruits and vegetables. Like, that's all they want, is just fruits and veggies. You can give them a little tiny bit of, like, cooked meat, as long as it doesn't have any sauce or seasoning. Just, like, little bit of cooked meat, little cooked chicken, little bit of cooked beef, whatever. They'll eat it. Because they're scavengers, they'll eat whatever. As long as it's just, like, you know, natural stuff, non-processed, non-seasoned stuff, they can eat whatever. Like, I mostly would just, you know, any fruits that I was gonna eat that day, I would just cut up a little bit and put in their tank. Alright, let's add our boys' leafies. See, talking about all this though, even though I know hermit crabs are not, like, they're not appropriate pets, you know, we should leave them in the ocean. Well, they don't live in, well, some land hermit crabs are usually, you know, the ones as pets, that they live just kind of next to the ocean and the sort of wet forests near oceans. And we should probably leave them there, but at the same time, I love them dearly. I think they're so cute and so cool and interesting that I really miss having hermit crabs. So it's this dilemma. Is this dilemma that is always, that I'm always combating in my heart. If I could, if I were bold enough, and if my sleight of hand skill was high enough, maybe there's an alternate universe out there where I'm more of a bad boy type, and I would like shoplift hermit crabs from the pet store. So that way I could have hermit crabs and know that I'm raising them, giving them a good life without having to pay money to the companies that are harming them and fishing them out of the oceans and depopulating them. It was really strange too, during the years where I had hermit crabs, I used to dream about them all the time. Like, almost every night, I would dream that my hermit crabs were in trouble. I would dream that, like, there was something wrong, like they had escaped, or just that something bad was, like, happening with them. And, like, I don't know, I just had these stress dreams all the time about something bad happening to my hermit crabs. I don't know what that, like, means psychologically, but happened to me a lot. I still occasionally will dream that, like, a hermit crab is in trouble. And it, like, stresses me out really bad in the dream. Like, I once dreamed that I was in, like, I was back in high school, and I opened my locker, and for some reason, there's just a plastic grocery bag full of hermit crabs. Just, like, imagine a grocery bag that is just, like, actually full of live hermit crabs, and I, like, pulled it out of my locker and I panic. I'm like, oh my god, this is horrible. They're all crammed in this bag and they can't breathe, and oh my god. And I, like, the whole dream is me just trying to figure out what to do to, like, save them. It's terrible. The Great Hermit Crab Drowning of 2027? No! No! Don't throw them in the ocean! They don't live in the land. Well, I mean, some hermit crabs do, but land hermit crabs that are commonly used as pets, they do not like to be submerged in water, and they do not live in the ocean. Don't throw them in the ocean. Land hermit crabs are called such because they live on the land. They just live next to the ocean, in the forested areas near the ocean usually, where they feed on the detritus. No, not splash! No! No splash! No splash! No splash! No! I don't like to think about bad stuff happening to hermit crabs. I'm gonna have a dream tonight where I have to scoop a bunch of hermit crabs that are drowning out of the ocean because we talked about this. You just watch, it'll happen. It'll be all your faults. I do miss him though. I used to just I had there's at the foot of our bed, I guess across from the foot of our bed, there's like a small end table. And that's where the hermit crab tank used to be. And I would just kind of sit on the end of the bed and just watch them. And they usually they weren't doing anything very interesting. But I don't know, I would just sit and I would watch the hermit crabs just do their little whatevers, crawl around and stuff. I just loved it. I tried to give them a really interesting habitat too. That's another thing, is that people just put them in tanks with those kind of plastic aquarium rocks and that, and just the really overpriced sand that you buy at the pet store, and a couple shells, and maybe a coconut house, and that'll be it. But hermit crabs, like any animals, need enrichment, you know? Or murder now! No hermit crab murdering, no splashing, no throwing in the ocean. You're all banned. But yeah, I read online at the time that hemp rope, hemp yarn and stuff is safe for hermit crabs. It's safe for them to eat. And so if you put it in their tank and they try to eat it, nothing bad will happen to them. So I bought some hemp string at the time, and I actually looked up how to do I don't know if it was macrame technically, but I looked up how to make a net with it. I looked up how to tie, I guess it's macrame, how to tie a net. So I put and it looked kind of like a net you'd see on a pirate ship or something. It was that kind of style. And yeah, and I hung that sort of as a second, it was a sort of second story in their tank, so they could climb up there and clamber all over it. They had a fake plant in there that they could climb on. And buying devil's lettuce. You know me. Y'all know how much I love, being a delinquent and doing the drugs that Dare told me not to do. The joke here is that I'm very square and I don't drink or do drugs because I'm a loser. And my parents and my sister all try to get me to drink or do drugs, but I don't. Aw, Clinodev, thank you for gifting that sub. This is very kind of you. Enjoy it, one Mario Bro. And give me a couple stink faces. Give me some of them stinky emotes, eh? Let me see them stinkus faces. Give me some stinkies. Yeah, put some stank on it in the chat. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Feel free to use that in any stream when stinkiness is relevant. Alright. He's got little leaves on him. Let's bend them so they look a little more natchy. But yeah. There's a little guy and his little leaf head. And the colors on this webcam are very, like, desaturated. There he is. Little Monstera plant guy. What do you guys think? Oh, actually, you know what? Wait. One last thing I can't forget. Can't forget. There we go. Now that's what I'm talking about. There we go. There. Now he's done. Give him little blushy cheeks. That's the number one thing. If there's anything I've learned in the more than a decade I have been creating plushies, is that the blushy cheeks are the most important part and to never forget them. Can you tell? Can you see the blushy cheeks? Wait. Let me open the webcam settings and we'll change the focus so we can get a good close look at this lad real quick. There we go. What do you think of him? Look at this homie. This little guy. So imagine if you're like going along, right? Geocaching. It's finally springtime, the weather's finally nice, you're geocaching, you open a geocache, you see this little guy in there. Imagine! One little question you wanted to ask for your commission if it would cost more. For a question like that, email it to me. Email it to me. I'll probably answer you tomorrow during my working hours. It's adorable, thank you. Now, I actually, before I change the focus back, I do have something else to show you guys. I have a little surprise for you. If you give me a sec, I will go get it. So, the last week after the stream, I was like so just into this little dude, and I was like, oh man, I wish I could finish him, but I want to do it on stream. I don't want them to miss the pulse pounding conclusion. So, what I did was, I just made another one. Yeah, look at them. He's got a buddy. He has a secret friend that you guys didn't know about. No, they're friends. They're friends. This guy, I based him, you can see his plant bits. I based him off of a fern. I made him look like a fern. What do you think? Little fern guy. Little fern buddy. You're friends. They're friends. Ninja James! Welcome. I just finished sewing this little guy, and we had a dramatic reveal that he already has a friend that I made the other day. It's hard for me to like hold him right because the camera is like backwards for me. It's backwards from my real life view, so I'm trying to like hold them straight. Yeah, so this guy's a monstera plant with his big monstera leaves. This guy's a fern. Yay! Little guys! I hope you like the homies. Okay, let's put the focus back. You guys like them? Little dudes. Little dudes! They're little plant heads. So, what time is it? A fern baby. Little fern baby. Little plant babies. Little babies, both of them. Babies. Cuties. They have a little bit of that Pillsbury Doughboy energy, don't they? Like, you can poke them and they'd be like, hee hee. Alright, it's only 10:30, so we... How much time does that leave us? So we have like 2.5 hours left. So let's see if we can't at least start another one. I actually took all the pieces and I put them in their own bespoke envelope so I wouldn't lose them. Now after making these guys, I do want to... I think the neck hole on the body is a little big. It's a little larger than the head hole, so I'm actually gonna just very slightly trim a little bit off of the neck. Hopefully that'll make it fit a little better. So, I did have already a little bit of an idea for this next one. Let me look up a reference picture. I was thinking about doing a succulent plant guy. That's what I was thinking of next. Was it the... I have no idea how to pronounce this. The Echeveria succulent? I don't know what this... There's a CH in there that I don't know how it's supposed to be said. But that type of succulent, it's like the default succulent that everybody thinks of when they think of succulent plants. That guy. You know, they're kind of like green, they're like kind of a lightish, pale green color, and they've got like this, sometimes the tips are like pinkishy, reddish. Love that. Love succulents. I've tried many times keeping succulents, but come wintertime, they always kind of... but that's another story. Add flower ones? I probably will do flower ones. I just tend to like leafy plants better than flowering plants. That's just a personal taste thing, though. I'll probably do flower ones, too. I just get excited about leafy plants. I don't know. I'm not a flower type person. I'm really a leafy person. I don't know why. But I'll probably do flower ones. Imagine a dude with just a big rose on the top of his head. That'd be funny. Or a guy with like a little homie with little like lavender, like little tall lavender bits coming off. I actually know how to make a felt lavender flower, so I could do that. But for the succulent guy that I had in mind, I thought, well, I have this real like mint green here that I could use for the succulent. I thought, like, what do I want the body to be colored? Because I was doing just, like, neutral colors to kind of look like ground or look like earth for their bodies. But I couldn't help but think, I actually got these guys in a while back. I got this color of felt in that you can only buy... Oh, I have to open it. Ugh. You can only buy these as, like, sheets. You can't buy these as, like, yardage. But I thought it was a really nice color. I've got this, like, peachy orangey... This orangey pink here that I think just looks super cute with this mint green. And I think if I make... I kind of want to make the body this, like, orangey color and then make the succulent this green. And maybe if I have... Maybe if I have, like, some eyeshadow or something that's, like, a similar peachy color, maybe we can make, like, the tips of the leaves of the succulent, like, kind of peachy. Wouldn't that be neat? Imagine it. Imagine it all in your imaginations right now. It'll be great. Let's do it. I don't know if I'll have time to finish it tonight. Because I actually timed myself when I made this guy, and it was just over 3 hours. So, don't know if we'll really be able to finish this homie on stream. But we'll see. Oh, I don't have the eyeballs. I have to go get them. Well, we'll come to that when we get there. Let's make this little peachy baby. Make this little peach friend. Peach colored homie. I love succulent plants. I really want to try, like, actually having, like, succulents eventually. But I think just the place that I live, like, the apartment I live in right now, there's just not enough, like, sunlight, like, inside of the apartment that once it's wintertime, I can either put the plant near the windows where it'll get sunlight, but then because the windows are too drafty, the succulents will freeze. Or I keep them, you know, more inside the house where it's warmer, but then they don't get enough sunlight and they die either way. I've had both of these situations happen, unfortunately. It sucked too, because last time, like, in the spring of 2019, like, right when spring started, like, at the very beginning, I bought succulents, because I was like, I want to make sure these guys are strong and powerful by the time it's winter, and I also wanted to actually, grow some succulents from cuttings. So I wanted a lot of time to be able to do that before winter. And I did too. I had, like, a bunch of cuttings that had started to like, sprout and were turning into their own plants, but winter was just too much for the homies, man, I tell ya. Winter still got them. So maybe eventually if I, like, live in a house that has more direct sunlight and, like, not as drafty windows, if I could eventually live in a place that wasn't as shit as the place I live in now. Maybe one day. I was actually really jealous. I went over to a friend's house. One of my vaccinated friends. I was very excited to go and visit her home. And, she has a whole shelf of plants. Like, she had a lot of plants, and I was like, homie, how you be having so many plants in the winter? But she just had, like, a shelf with some, like, lights. She had these little, like, clip-on, like, lights with that were on, like, little bendy necks that she could, like, just point right at the plants. And I was like, that's a good idea. Because another big problem is it's hard for me to keep plants inside because I don't have any surfaces to put plants on in here. All our shelves are covered, like our decorative shelves in the living room are covered in figurines and video game consoles and books and other crap. And all the shelving in here is all my craft supplies, and they're overflowing already. And there's no other surfaces for me to put, like, plants anywhere. So I'm just like, oh, I wish I could do that, but I just don't have anywhere to put them. One day, though. One day I'll live in some place where I can have plants and it'll be cool as hell. I'll be so good at having plants. I'll have a billion succulents. It'll be awesome. You guys watch. You'll see it'll happen one day. Billion plants. This is the perfect music for talking about plants, I feel like. Ooh, this is also good talking about plants music. Maybe I'll try having succulents again once, you know, as everybody says, once the pandemic's over. Maybe when I'm not terrified to go to the store anymore, I'll go down to the Home Depot. Get some succulents. Okay, actually, I have a question for y'all in chat. I have a question for you guys. I have a morality question that I've thought a lot about, and I've thought a lot about this, and I wonder. Okay, so with succulents, right? When their leaves fall off, they potentially can sprout and become a whole new plant. Like, the leaves can actually sprout and just start to, like, root and become their own separate succulent. If you go to, say, like a Home Depot or something that sells succulents, right? And say there's maybe, like, succulent leaves lying, like, that had naturally fallen off in the hustle and bustle of, like, being on the shelving in the store. There's succulent leaves that are just sitting, like, on the shelves. If you just pick up those fallen leaves and take them out of the store, is that stealing? Now, because I'm a pee-pee poo-poo baby, and I'm very scared of getting in trouble, I've not attempted this, but I have thought about it very hard. But is that stealing? Because those little leaves could potentially grow into their own plant. But the way they are in the store, you know, at that time, they are just detritus that has fallen off the plants and will surely be swept up and thrown into the trash by, like, an employee at some point. It's doing the janitor's job. I don't know that I'd feel guilty, I'd just feel afraid that I would, I don't know, get in trouble. I've always been a very goody two-shoes type that, like, not that I don't want to do the bad thing, but I'm very scared of being in trouble. But yeah, I don't know, like, if you go in there and you just look around and you just see a bunch, like, if I just grabbed, like, a handful of just the leaves that are not in any of the pots, that are maybe even on the ground, and I just, like, take the leaves and pick them up, is that stealing? I don't know. Well, of course don't ask, because they're gonna be like, no, you can't take anything without paying, because the employee is like, I'm not gonna deal with your weird questions today, I'm paid minimum wage. Like, the employee's gonna probably just tell you, like, no. Well, really what they'll tell you is, like, we don't sell individual leaves, those are not for sale. Like, we don't have any, you know, those aren't priced in any kind of way where we can, like, let you have them. Because the employee themselves would be like, you know, I don't have any official anything for this. Like, there's no policies at the store that, you know, give us permission to be able to do this. And so the employee, you know, also doesn't want to get in trouble at their job, so they would have to tell you no. It's a big thonk question, isn't it? I've thonked about it very hard. And I do wonder. Oh, so we need like a pinkish and then like a mint greenish thread for this. Let's see. What do we got? I'm looking in my big old lunchbox full of thread. Pink and mint green. Ooh. Thread. I don't have any like peachy colored threads, so I just have to use baby pink. Which is fine. I don't think you'll really be able to tell. You know what I really love about succulents too is like when you are growing one from just like a detached leaf. When they first start growing, they're like so teeny tiny, they're so weedle. They just have the littlest teeny little leaves. They're just like succulents are so cute when they're really teeny tiny. Like, more than actually having, like, fully grown succulents, like, I think I'm... I really enjoy growing them from leaves and just ending up with a bunch of really teeny tiny guys. Can you guys tell I love really teeny tiny things? Can you tell? I love just weedle stuff that's weedle. I love it. I love it. You didn't even know succulents even grew from leaves? Yeah. Not necessarily all the time. It depends on if the leaf, like, broke off properly, so it still has, like, the... Like, there is a bit at the connective end of a leaf, that if it breaks off fully, then it still has, like, the growth cells or something, like, at the end of the leaf, so yeah, the part where it broke off from the stem can just, like, continue growing, and it'll grow little roots usually, and yeah. I recommend trying it out sometime. Like, especially if you go to, like, you know, places like Home Depot and shit. You know, you'll often see succulents that are super leggy, which means, like, that they've grown really tall. Usually because they're, you know, since they're grouped up with a bunch of plants and they're sort of usually, like, kind of indoors, they're not getting, like, a ton of sunlight, so they start to grow really tall, and so the leaves are, like, really far apart on the stem, and it's really tall. And what you can do is just cut off the stem, like, a bit, like, find the, you know, the top bulb part that you want to, you know, that isn't so, like, long, and just cut off just under that, and you can replant, just stick the stem of that back into the dirt, and it'll just keep growing fine, and then pick all the leaves off of that stem you cut off, and those will all then, if you, like, usually you want to set them out in a dry place for, like, a week or so. Yeah, and then you can just lay them in a little pot of dirt and, like, sprinkle them with a little bit of water every couple weeks, and yeah, they'll start growing their own new plants. So it's, when you buy succulents, you're kind of buying several plants in one. Oh, you love small toys too? Mm-hmm. They can be used to make bigger ones look huge, that's true. Small trains, traditionally in my household, growing up, because we had, like, a Christmas train set that every holiday season when we get our tree, we'd have the Christmas train set that went around the tree. And that was primarily used to make the cats look like they were Catzillas and laugh whenever the cats would knock the train over. Yeah. They are value pack plants, it's super true. Transformers that make the huge ones look big. Man, there is a YouTube channel that Henry watches all the time of this guy. Well, there's a couple YouTube channels of, like, these guys that just, I guess, buy all of the, like, transforming toys, like all the Power Rangers, or I get, like, Super Sentai and, like, Kamen Rider toys and stuff, and just the whole video is just them showing how it transforms. Boy howdy, are Super Sentai toys ugly. Oy, they're ugly. Oh, you had the Thomas the Tank Engine toys when you were a kid? Yeah, my little cousin had those. He was really into it. I personally was never that into Thomas. I always found his face to be extremely creepy looking. I did, though. I had... When I was little, I had a train set that I think was like Fisher-Price or something. It's like a plastic... It was like a dual-purpose train set where like one side of the like plastic pieces was like train track and then the other side was road. So depending on which side you used, you could make like a road that the little cars could drive on or a train track that the little train could drive on. Yeah, and I would make a big old city with that big old system of trains and cars and things. Oh no, those YouTube videos are not for like children to use. Well, I don't know. Children probably do watch them, I guess, but they are like it's a very I don't think that all those channels are Japanese. I think like one of them is maybe Chinese or Korean. I don't know. There's a bunch of these channels that Henry always watches, but they're that very Asian style of YouTube video where it's just like they don't talk or anything. It's just like background music and hands and like transforming. And it's absolutely a type of YouTube channel that's for like, well, for people like Henry who just want to look at like adults who want to see the dumb transforming robot toys. I don't know, maybe kids do watch it in like Japan. Maybe they do. Super Sentai toys are so ugly though. Every single time he puts one of those on and it's a Super Sentai toy set, it's just... The Megazords are so ugly every time. They're so ugly and they always have so much stuff all stuck together. They look like a mess. I don't know what they're doing over there at Super Sentai. They're really... Ugh. It's a mess. It's a design nightmare. Yeah, it's not exactly reviews. It's literally just like... Yeah, it's literally just no talking or anything, just music and like toy, and then hands, just like beer, 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 and now it looks like something different. Thanks for watching. I need to go get the little plastic eyeballs so I can put eyeballs in this homie's head when it's done. I need to go get those off the shelf. It's crazy too, because sometimes those videos are like... Sometimes those videos are like 30 minutes long of this dude transforming stuff. Like, because he'll usually do like several toys per video, because they're usually like... He'll do all of like this series of toys all in one video, you know? You're unnerved by Power Rangers, especially with the weird monster designs. I didn't watch... I know I watched Power Rangers when I was a kid, but I don't, like, remember it very well. I didn't... By the time I was, like, forming memories, I think I had kind of stopped watching it. Now, I will say, though, I have watched... There's one Super Sentai series that is touted as the absolute best one, like, hands down, best Super Sentai ever. And after watching it, I said to myself, I think maybe this is just the best television show I've ever seen. I highly recommend checking out and watching, the Pirate Super Sentai, the Gokaigers. Look it up. There's places where people have fan subbed the show and you can watch it. It is maybe actually one of the best shows I've ever watched in my life. I loved it. It was the best. I will say though, if you like the Megazord, Gokaigers is very light on Megazord. They don't use it super a ton, and not usually for very long. The vehicles were clearly not the focus of the writers of this show. They were focused on character development. And boy howdy does it pay off. Oh. I'm gonna rewatch it. I think that may be the best show I've ever seen in my life. It was so good. And everyone, when I tell people that, they think I'm joking. They're like, haha, I get it, it's like funny. It's funny that like you're saying that a Super Sentai show, you know, is like the best show you've ever seen. It's a good job. No, I'm seriously, it was an extremely good show. It had everything. It had comedy and drama, fighting, it had weird alien monsters, and there was romance. Ugh, it had everything. It also has like one of the best villains I think I've ever seen in anything. Like, extremely villainous villain where you're just like, oh my god, this guy's so fucking evil. What the hell? This guy's like not even just cartoon evil. Like, this dude's a horrible man and must be defeated. What the hell? And like all of the Rangers are so likable and well written, and all get like, all of them get their own like time to really like they all have episodes where they get to be like the focus and get to have character development, and it's just they're all so good. Ugh. Yeah, no one believes me, man. When I say Gokaigers is the best show I've ever watched, I mean it. No one believes me. And it has a strong first episode, too. Like, it's a show that's good from episode 1. I get really annoyed by shows that, like, you know, people say, like, you have to get to, like, episode 5 before it, like, starts getting really good. I hate that. I'm like, make it good from the first episode. Writers, come on. I don't have all day. Gokaigers is literally, the first episode is so good. And it does a good job of just establishing, like, our Rangers and the situation, and it's just very good. You'd love to see a Japanese Sentai show that Power Rangers was based on? You absolutely can. I'm gonna tell you right now. You can go to, I think it's Jatoku is the name of the website, where they fan sub like tokusatsu shows. Go watch what is it, Kaizoku Sentai Gokaigers. Go watch Gokaigers. You will not regret it. I promise you won't regret it. And then you can go on YouTube, and I think it's Power Rangers Mega Force? Well, Power Rangers Megaforce sucks shit. It is crap, but that's what they turned Gokaidras into. So, I think is it Super Megaforce? Yeah, because Megaforce has like the second series that is Super Megaforce, and that's when they get the Gokaidras powers and like suits and stuff. So yeah, Power Rangers Super Megaforce is on Netflix. So there you go. You can watch both, and Power Rangers Super Megaforce sucks ass and is bad. It makes me so sad too. Like, I watched the first episode of Power Rangers Super Megaforce just to see. And just like, I recognized, I was like, oh, these are the fight scenes from the first episode, but they just. Where's my captain? Where's Captain Marvelous? This is not the captain that I believe in, that I follow. Yeah, everyone's been talking about WandaVision. I don't care about Marvel stuff anymore. I can't even pretend to care about Marvel stuff anymore. I just really don't. Like, after Infinity War, like after the Infinity War movies came out and I saw those, and then I said to myself, finally, I'm done. It's over. I don't have to care about Marvel films anymore. Especially after I found out that, like, apparently Marvel has a deal with, like, the fucking Pentagon in terms of how they portray, like, the American military in Marvel stuff. So essentially the Pentagon actually gets to dictate how the military is portrayed in Marvel movies to make sure that they are always portrayed positively. Which stinks like propaganda to me. Oh boy, stinky propaganda. Oh, it's okay. Everybody's talking about WandaVision. I do not blame you for being excited about it. Like, it's probably a good show. That's the thing, like, if I watched it, I'd probably like it. I'd probably like it okay, but at the same time, I'm like, I could watch just something that is not a giant, like, multi-billion-dollar corporate, like, intellectual property. I could watch something that's, like, you know, a little bit more, that's just I could watch something that's just a little bit less pop culture corporate-y than Marvel stuff. And I know that doesn't, like, bother most people, and honestly, that's, like, fair. Not everybody is like me and is haunted every day in my own mind by crap like that. Most people just enjoy shows. I have a bad case of being a Debbie Downer. I was just born that way. As an adult, I try to not be like that so much, but, you know, it's a work in progress. Oh yeah, it's the entire Disney empire, for sure. Yeah. Hop. Ow. 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 And honestly, in general, superheroes as a genre never really appealed to me that hard. I'll tell you the truth. The actual superhero stuff that I really liked a lot when I was younger is I was really into the X-Men for a minute. I was like really about the X-Men movies. Those, like, you know, the mid-2000s X-Men movies with Hugh Jackman and such. Probably don't need a pin for that. I was really into those. And I look back now and I'm like, oh, I see. It was all an analogy for being like, you know, for being like an outsider, outcast type person. And like in X2, X-Men United, there's literally a scene, like a fucking coming out scene when they go to Bobby's house, they go to Iceman's house, and he has to tell his parents that he's a mutant, and it's like, wow, that's pretty, like, when I got older, I was like, that's a really on-the-nose, like, coming out as gay scene, isn't it? Like, that's extremely on the nose, because then his parents are like, well, we'll support you, honey, and then his brother calls the fucking cops on them, and then they have to run away from the house, and I always thought that part was sad. I didn't like it. I didn't like his stupid brother call the cops on them. I couldn't believe it. There's also something very funny to me too, that all of X2 takes place where like every character's pretty much in their pajamas the whole movie. Like Hugh Jackman Wolverine is in his just gym jams the whole movie, cause like the shit pops off at the mutant school place. It pops off in the middle of the night, and so they all have to like leave in a hurry in their jams. Oh yeah, Into the Spider-Verse rules. No doubt. That shit rules. Spider-Verse was like maybe one of the best animated films ever. It's cool as hell. Yes, in X3 they make a cure for the mutantness. Now, I think X-Men, you know, sort of suffers from the same type of thing that a lot of media tries to like like media that tries to make a metaphor for like marginalized people. You know, they run into the same kind of problems that, you know, like I get it. I don't know that I necessarily blame them too much. The X-Men stories they've made into movies were written by mostly older Jewish people, specifically about the civil rights movement. Oh yeah, for sure. And actually didn't David Hayter direct those X-Men movies? Solid Snake David Hayter, I think. I forget. But I think they run into a little bit of that problem that a lot of media like that does, where like the metaphor can only stretch so far. Because of course, like, in the context of the metaphor, like, yeah, it's wrong to make a cure for being gay or for being a like person of color. Like, obviously, like a cure for that is not good, you know. But in the context of the story, Rogue literally can't hug anybody, and that sucks ass. And I like get that. So the metaphor breaks down a little bit, but I guess at the same time, I think it adds a little bit of interesting color at the same time. Is like, should Rogue have to take a personal sacrifice for the sake of making a moral stance? I don't know. That's complex. That's a complex thing that I kind of appreciated. I know a lot of people hated X3, like they said X3 sucked. Now, I haven't seen it since I was like a teenager, but I really liked it then. I mean, I didn't know anything when I was a teenager, so I liked a lot of stuff that was ass. X-Men is a case where the villain is a Holocaust survivor and the heroes are led by a bald guy in a mansion with kids. Oh, X-Men. I also watched X-Men Evolution when I was a teen. I don't remember any of it now, but I did watch it. I mostly just wanted to watch anything that Nightcrawler was in, because I just loved Nightcrawler. Because he was very cute. This is really the reason. I just thought he was very cute, and I liked the teleporting power. I thought that was cool, but I mostly just really liked that he was blue. And I was like, I wish I could be blue like him and have a tail. Because I am a dirty furry like that. I just be that way. Yeah, Nightcrawler does rock. I know some... can I tell you guys a weird story, actually? I took German in high school. And we had an assignment once where he just wanted us, like, my teacher just wanted us to write about, like, pick a German culture subject and just do an essay on it. And we got to pick whatever we wanted. I managed to convince him to let me do my essay about Nightcrawler because Nightcrawler is German. He let me do it. And I went up to the front of the class and I read off my little essay that I did. I looked on the Wikipedia page about Nightcrawler, you know, read through some fan pages, and yeah, I read a little thing about how, you know, how Nightcrawler was born from, like, a weird demon guy and a weird blue lady, and I explained to the class, so I had to read this out loud to the class, and I had to explain, like, how his powers work. I was like, so he like, whenever he, bamfs is what they call it. He teleports to a different dimension that's parallel to ours and runs through it to come out in another location in our world. And like, I forget who it is now, but isn't there like a guy? Eventually, he puts a villain in that other dimension to like trap him forever, and so every time he teleports in there now, he has to run from that guy. Or something, I don't know. That happens at some point, I think. My German class was very, loosey-goosey, and I did not learn very much German at all in it. But every Friday was donut day. Where if on Thursday, if you brought in money and gave it to the teacher, on Friday, and like, he would take your order, and then on Friday he'd go to the local bakery in the morning and pick up whatever you ordered so you could eat it in class on Friday. No one should take German, not even the Germans. I took German because I didn't want to take Latin, because Latin was hard. I didn't want to take French because the French teacher was weird. And I had no interest in French anyway. And I didn't want to take Spanish because I knew in Spanish class they like expect you to actually do work and pay attention and do a good job. And I didn't want to do that. In German class, we had donuts every Friday, and I was allowed to give an essay on Nightcrawler. Tell me you guys called Donut Day. I am Donut Day. No. We did not. We just... Most of the time, I didn't even really get donuts. It was just sort of called that, but you could really order anything that the local bakery had. I personally was a big fan of the cheese danishes, so that's what I always got. It was also because our German teacher was an old German guy, and he was like kind of insane, I think. I don't know. He was like a weird guy. He was a lovely, lovely man, but like not a great teacher. And also just was like kind of old and forgetful. So like if he came into the room on the day we were supposed to have a test, if everyone in class all organized themselves and all act surprised and were like, "What? You didn't tell us there was a test today." If everyone in class all agreed and did that, it would work and we would not have a test. And that would happen kind of often. We would get away with that. I had a friend in high school who was also Mexican and part of a Mexican family, and took Spanish because her grandma and stuff would like make fun of her for not knowing any Spanish. So you're not alone in that. Jelly donuts only. You mean those little ones made of rice? These jelly donuts, Ash. I'm not a jelly donut person. I'm gonna come out and say the controversial take that I'm not that into jelly donuts. I don't really like fruit jelly, like, in that large a quantity. I always explain it to people where, like, I prefer the crust to jelly ratio to be more at, like, the toaster strudel level is, like, the highest fruit to crust ratio that I'll agree to. What weird jelly donut thing are you linking me to? Am I a jelly donut or am I... Oh, is a Kennedy thing? No, History Channel, I don't want to sign up for your newsletter. I know about the Ich bin ein Berliner. I know about this. I see. I didn't know about that. I knew he said the Ich bin ein Berliner thing. I didn't know that was grammatically wrong. You'd think there would have been someone that would have told him ahead of time. I think my German teacher would have made that joke. Oh yeah, fuck, his head went right out of my brain. The very popular cooking YouTuber. Binging with Babish, there he goes. Binging with Babish did the jelly donuts that look like rice balls from Pokemon for one of his videos. Jelly donuts only for German class. You don't understand bagels? I love bagels. Oh, they're so yummy. Love a bagel. Bagels are like a great just blank base for any kind of topping, really. You can put like a sweet cream cheese on them. Or savory cream cheese. I don't like plain cream cheese. I like the ones that have like stuff mixed in. You can put like a bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel. I love that. Love a breakfast bagel sandwich. They're so tough and chewy. You're not wrong, but that's sort of a lot of bagels that you get at like, you know, grocery stores are like that. If you ever make your own bagels at home, or like go to a place like a restaurant or bakery that like makes them fresh like every day, they are very good, and they don't have that like difficult to chew texture. They have like a much nicer texture. My sister used to work when she was when she first moved into Pittsburgh. She used to work at a Jewish bakery, and she would get to like take home like delicious, freshly like made bagels like from that morning and stuff like that. Like yum 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 yum. Well, howdy, 122 in action. Do I take requests for things to sew for fun? Not on the spot. Just cause, like, you know, I might have to prep for things. But if there's like something you'd want to see, you can let me know. I might take it into consideration depending on if I want to do it. You can throw out ideas if you feel like you have a cool idea. But generally, anything that's going to be done on stream is going to be little silly stuff like these guys. Little silly guys. I don't do no big scale projects on stream because it's challenging and stressful. Your eyes keep darting to the corner because you think she's talking. She ain't talking. She ain't. It's a bigger scale project though. Yeah, then I probably would not, cause A, it's hard for me to do large scale things on stream anyway, cause it's like I only have this much room to show you guys anything. It's the Junez song where it's like 8-bit. It doesn't have to be done on stream? Oh, well, I don't take, like, requests for, like, you know, things that are gonna be put on sale or anything. If you would like to commission me, unfortunately, commissions are closed. And I probably won't be open again for, like, probably till like late summer or early fall, because I have a lot of people on the waiting list. But if you are interested, you can check out my commission information and other such things. You don't want it for yourself, you just want to see it made for fun. I see. like I said, I mean, if it's a cool idea and I feel like doing it, I might. Well, why don't you tell me what it is and I'll tell you, and if I go, oh, then that means no. No promises. Because in terms of stuff that I do in my free time, which I have very little of in the first place, generally I don't, you know, it's all just stuff that I feel like doing off the top of my head. Flights of fancy and such. So. I also tend to just not do very big projects outside of paid work too, just because I don't have a lot of time for it. What? A windbreaker style version of a straitjacket? Like an actual coat that one could wear? I'll break the news to you right now. I don't know how to make, like, any clothing. I do not make human-sized clothing. As much as I would love to make my own clothing, I don't have the space, the physical space in my home to do so. Unfortunately. And I also would not, if I was gonna make clothing, it would be something for me to wear. I would not wear a windbreaker that looked like a straitjacket. I don't think I'm goth enough for that. It's an interesting idea though, for the sake of fashion. You could do some street style with that, but I wouldn't say it is so much my style, personally. See, maybe one day... It sounds too anime-y. I don't know. I mean, yeah. That's the thing, I imagine, like, do you guys... There's this, Twitter account called Tokyo Fashion Chiz. Tokyo Fashion something that I follow. And it's always like a lot of the pictures are just like weird like fashion students that like are walking the streets in Tokyo that they get like street snaps of, and I like one of them would totally wear something like that. Or they're with their weird avant-garde fashion. I love that kind of thing. I love to see it. See people being wacky with fashion. Little arms. Beep, 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 beep. But I don't know how to make no clothing. I ain't never made no Well, I've made a skirt before for a cosplay. And it didn't look very good. But it was good enough for that cosplay at the very least. See, I'd really like to make my own, like, skirts and dresses and stuff. It's just hard, because my apartment is too small to, like, I can't lay out a yard of fabric anywhere. There's just not enough space to lay out, like, large amounts of fabric to, like, be able to trace and cut out pattern pieces properly. I also don't have a lot of time to work on stuff like that. You don't have a real fashion sense, you just buy t-shirts that have Mario, Star Wars, and stuff on them. You know. Whatever. And you know, especially now, in these current times, we're all inside our homes. Doesn't matter what we look like. Doesn't matter. Do I do a thing where I hold a pin in my mouth temporarily as I'm working? I don't very often. Like, occasionally, only if it's like really quick, because I do get very scared. Like, what if I breathe it in and I don't know, swallow it or something? Because I have anxiety. And even though that probably most likely wouldn't happen, it does freak me out. I'm like, oh god, what if I swallowed it? Only very occasionally do I do that. Generally, I always have the pin cushion here, so I usually don't need to do that. Trusty pin cushion is always on standby. Like the pin cushion? Thank you. This pin cushion is the very same one that I have had since I was a very little child. When I bought at Barnes & Noble, I bought a, like, how to sew book that like, taught you basic sewing stitches and gave you some, like, little basic patterns for, like, little kids to learn how to sew. And this like, fabric and the pattern that made, like, instructions and everything in that book is how I made this, and it's the same one I've had for 20 years. More than 20 years now. Yes, yum yum. Strawberry pins. You host a strawberry festival every year? Dope. I love strawberries. Yum yum. I love strawberries. I've got some Honey Bunches of Oats with strawberries in my cereal cabinet right now. Because they taste yummy. People come out of town to, like, come into town to see it. That's cool. You love a food festival where people come from all around. That's good stuff. That's a good time. I think people do that for, like, the pickle, like, there's a pickle, like, festival in Pittsburgh called Picklesburg. I think it's pretty popular. People tend to come in from, like, this, you know, suburbs and things to come to Picklesburg and get a bunch of different kinds of pickles. It's fun. What the fuck is this song? This song's called 78. Or wait. Oh, 78's the song number. This song's called Destinyland? What part of Persona 5 was called Destinyland? I don't remember. My memories of Persona 5 are foggy at this point. Yeah, you get the pickle pin. Yeah, see? You get it, you get it. Do I have one of the pickle pins over here? I know I have one somewhere. It reminds you of Glitzburg. It is not nearly that fancy. Though I have seen some wrestling in Pittsburgh, similar to the Paper Mario thing. I have witnessed some wrestling, but otherwise not as highfalutin so much. I was actually telling one of my friends the other day that... So I was really, really into pro wrestling when I was... when I was an older kid into my tween years, I was like really into wrestling. And I actually I went to see some pay-per-view live that was in Pittsburgh at the time. One of the WWE pay-per-views, you know. And I bought at the merchandise booth, you could get a teddy bear that looked like The Undertaker. And I lost my fucking mind. I was like, I need that! So for a really long time, I owned a teddy bear that looked like The Undertaker, and I loved it. It was cool. He had like this. The teddy bear had like the Undertaker's tattoos like screen printed on and everything. And had his like long coat and his hat and stuff, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I see you grew into wrestling. It's usually you've kind of taken the opposite route that most people went through. The wrestling's having kind of a big renaissance these days. Especially that there's like kind of stuff other than the WWE to watch now. Because there was just a period of time where I dropped off of watching wrestling because I just thought that kind of like in the late 2000s, the WWE was really just like not very exciting. It was the sort of thing where literally I was like bored watching it and I just kind of stopped watching it. They had some shit storylines and shit, just really lame stuff going on at the time for me to fall off of it. But things are kind of coming back around. There's some really neat stuff going on in the wrestling world. Especially with like AEW wrestling started a while back and is like apparently really cool. Like I kind of want to check out AEW. Oh yeah, I've been thinking about going and looking up some of the matches that have happened during the pandemic where because there's no audience, they've been able to do cinematography now, which is really wild. They've never, done stuff like that before. Being able to I heard that was it Bray Wyatt and John Cena had a really, really interesting match because they had the ability to do camera cuts and stuff. Since there's no live audience, they could do camera cuts to make it look like Bray Wyatt was teleporting during the match, which I think is the that's how wrestling should always be. That's how wrestling should always be. Because that's the coolest shit I ever heard of. That a man, we've always, had attempts at making it seem like that wrestlers had magic powers, with pyrotechnics, making it look like Kane's hitting guys with lightning and stuff, but and rigging the ring to shake as if Undertaker was casting a earthquake on the ring and stuff. But was that when the one guy and the other guy were fighting and the first guy's long-term friend ended up supporting the second guy and hitting his former friend with a chair as he entered the ring, but the first guy won anyway? Thank you. Thank you for writing that, Clinotep. That's very good. I love that that could literally be any match ever. That's pretty much every match is exactly that. Did they actually do a Dragon Ball Z move? Well, there is. Hold on, you can look up. If you want some, not exactly Dragon Ball Z, but Kane going nuts and setting guys on fire. Yeah, here we go. Hey, you can just yeah. You can watch that. This video is literally called Kane Goes Nuts and Sets Things on Fire. And he shoots a guy with lightning and sets him on fire. So, there you go. That's some 90s shit right there. That's some Attitude Era bullshit. That's some pyrotechnics that are not allowed in Montreal. Yeah, I was talking about to my friend the other day that the last time, because we were reminiscing going to our local anime convention, since, you know, obviously it did not happen last year and will likely probably not happen this year either. But the last time we went, I saw they had figurines, like there was a booth that had figurines of both Kane and Undertaker, and I just about shit my pants. Because I didn't even know that such figurines existed at that time, and I was just about ready to go ape shit. Yeah, I don't know how exactly they did that stunt, where they had, like, the lightning look like it came down and hit that guy to send him on fire. Like, that was probably I don't think that they ever did that exact type of stunt again, and I wonder if it's just because it's a big insurance risk. Like, these guys gotta still take blows and falls. If something goes wrong, they gotta work through it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can... every wrestling fan loves, including me, loves to talk about, the, or was it Mankind versus Undertaker match from, like, 98, the Hell in a Cell? Everybody loves talking about that match. Because it's exactly that, where, like, shit went horribly wrong. Oh, welcome, Overglocked 10mm, welcome. We're talking about wrestling. But yeah, if y'all have never watched, you know, the the Hell in the Cell match where that classic meme was invented, you know, I'd say I'd recommend watching it, except maybe I kind of don't recommend it, because it's brutal. It's, like, hard to watch. It's hard to watch, because it, like, especially because I've watched a lot of interviews with Mick Foley talking about that match, and how, like, he was very hurt. He got extremely injured and only continued to get more injured as the match went on. And he sustained some injuries that he still, like, has permanent damage from now. And I mean, you know, Mick Foley, because of the nature of the characters and type of wrestling that he used to do, he, you know, his body got permanently fucked up a lot of times over. That poor dude's, like, that dude is in, you know, not a great way physically in his older age, but boy did he fucking do it. Like, you'll see, during that Hell in the Cell match, like, they tried to take him out on a stretcher. And the man fucking got up off the stretcher. Yeah. Well, I would say you have to admire the commitment, except, like, Vince McMahon is a terrible... Like, don't get me wrong. Vince McMahon is, like, an evil, horrible man who, like, he does not deserve to have these guys, like, putting their lives on the line for how poorly he manages them and how poorly he pays them and treats them. And how they get no benefits and often don't even pay for their medical expenses. So. Oh, we are making little plant guys. We already have 2 little homies here. This guy, he's got a little fern on his head, and this guy's got a monstera plant on his head. Yeah. And then this guy, I'm making him this, like, orangey color for his body. Because then I'm gonna put, I have this minty green color, and I think I'm gonna make his head have a little, succulent growing out of it. Isn't it a thing that he's an asshole, even in the story of the wrestling? Oh yeah, well he like, paints himself in the kayfabe as, like, a huge, you know, corporate heel type. But the thing is that he is actually like that in real life. He's coming along nicely, thank you. Oh man, hold on. There's a thread that's so funny. Thread of weird stuff about Vince McMahon. Oh, does this have the link to the thread? So there's a weird thread of crazy Vince McMahon stories. Oh. Do you link to the thread? Okay, here you go. Vince McMahon is, like, literally crazy. Like, things like he hates, like, the first one is, like, he hates when people sneezes. And whenever they sneeze, he yells at them and tells them to control themselves. Like, what? It, like, makes him really angry. Let's see. Vince, as a prank, had real police arrest Jonathan Coachman for running a betting pool at work. Coach said when the cop car finally turned around and brought him back to WWE HQ, he openly wept in relief and rage. Oh, I remember this one. Vince invited Mark Henry to a workout session. Bear in mind that Mark Henry's claim as world's strongest man is based on the fact that he is the only man to have competed at top-level Olympic lifting, powerlifting, and strongman competitions. Vince tried to out-rep him on every exercise. Henry went along with it because he's competitive, and even admitted that Vince tested him a little bit. Mark says that he actually quit before Vince did. Vince phoned Mark in great pain and admitted he had made a terrible mistake. Like, Vince is such this, like, asshole. Oh yeah, he should go to jail. Don't get me wrong, Vince McMahon has done, like, crimes. Like, for real. Like, actual ones. Like, he's done real crimes. For sure. I mean, in all the lawsuits that the WWE has ever been in, he's absolutely been guilty. But he just gets out of it because he's extremely rich. And he also is really good friends with Donald Trump, so... Donald Trump has been on WWE wrestling several times. Because they are good friends. So... yeah, Vince McMahon is, like, actually a terrible man. which is also partially the reason why I kind of don't watch like WWE wrestling anymore. There's a certain point where it's like he's horrible, and with how badly he like treats his talent and stuff, like I don't know, I can't like support a guy like that. Though I think in that thread there's a really good story about how he didn't know that, quote-unquote Asian porn existed. Like, one of those stories is one where, like, I forget, it's like, where they were, him and, like, some of the other, like, WWE staff were talking about one of the Asian women wrestlers, and Vince was like not sure, you know, if like the American crowd would like her, and the other guy said like, oh well, you know, like there's a lot of Asian porn, like Asian porn's really popular on the internet, so I mean, you know, maybe the audience would probably really like her. And then Vince was like, there's Asian porn on the internet? And that, like, apparently blew his mind. I don't know exactly what year that supposed story is from, but it's like... Okay, Vince. Okay. Linda McMahon was the head of the Small Business Administration under Trump, yeah. Linda McMahon also... And I mean, it's also literally Vince's fault, like, that there, like, was a long period of time where there weren't other wrestling federations, like, running. Because he did his damnness to, like, stomp out every other, like, wrestling league that was competing with the WWE. There was a whole big thing whenever he acquired, was it ECW? And and they turned it into a big old storyline in the actual wrestling kayfabe that, like, he was buying ECW and, like, you know, taking them over, but that's also what actually was really happening, though, business-wise. Yeah, he's absolutely awful. Like, there's a reason so many, like, WWE wrestlers that are now, like, in their, like, 50s are... Well, why so many of them didn't make it to their 50s and are dead. Oh, jeez. We're talking about dead wrestlers when we're getting rated. Oh, God. Whoops. Raidif? Oh, thank you for the raid. Goodness. Welcome, everybody. Well, here. I'll give you all a minute in case you get an ad before I introduce myself. Well, howdy. See, now I wish my live 2D was on so y'all could see it. Since I'm using my webcam for arts and craftsing, I ain't got my live 2D on. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Since I assume... Oh, thank you, Zitrone, for the follow. I appreciate that greatly. Do you not get ads from raids? Okay. You love these little guys? Why, thank you. Yeah. We're sewing some little guys. Some little plant head guys. See, this guy's got a little Monstera plant growing out the head, and this guy's got a fern. Thank you, CJS Workshop, for the follow. Welcome. Yeah, they're kind of Mandrake-like, aren't they? I was sort of thinking, I was channeling that, like, Mandrake aesthetic. Thank you, Minin for Life, for the follow. Welcome, everybody. I am known as Ultra Pancake on most of the internet. If you are not familiar with me, I make plushies for a living professionally. If you're interested in that kind of thing, I highly recommend you check out my stuff. I make plushies of mostly anime people. Oh, actually, you know what? Since y'all are here, do you want to see a sneak preview of the commission that I just finished earlier today? Do you guys want to see a sneak preview? Yes, yes. Well, if you insist. If you insist. Let's see, how can I... She's literally actually just off camera right here. You guys just can't see her. What if I, like... Sneak... Whoa, whoa, who's that coming? Yep. Oh, oh, you just saw her little eyeball. Who do you think that was? Who could it be? Wait, you can see her little... Oh, you can see her little feet. Come, little feet's coming in. Oh. Oh. Okay, that's all the sneak peek you get. If you want to see the full thing, you gotta check my social medias tomorrow, where she will be posted. Wait, no! Who that? It's a tease! You can't know yet. Well, really, she has to be approved by the person who commissioned her first before... I usually wait for approval before I post pictures. You want to know? Well, you're gonna have to check my Twitter tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. Depending on if the person gets back to me soon enough, but probably tomorrow. It looks amazing. Why, thank you. Yes, if you guys are interested in anime women, I make a lot of those for my job. But today we're just making some little guys, just for funs and relaxation. Just for fun times. If you want to see some examples of plushies that I've made, you can look below the stream in my little informational panels down there, and I believe I have some pictures up of some things that I've made. You can also look on, like, I have Instagram, and I also have a DeviantArt page. My DeviantArt actually has all the plushies I've ever done in all the 7 years I've been professionally doing plushie commissions. And well, I have a lot of plushies even before that, even before I was doing it like full-time professionally. I've been really doing this for like more than 10 years now, but officially professionally for about 7. So. Yes, one Mario Bro has purchased from me previously, so they can vouch for me. and how high quality and impressive and extremely cool and followable on social media that my stuff is. Anyway, so this little guy's gonna need some eyeballs. So allow me to go and grab those eyeballs really quick, because I forgot to get them before the stream. What's the pro plush of life? Well, we're just gonna have to keep plushing to find out that answer. Okay, give me 1 sec to grab those safety eyeballs for this guy. Woo! Oh, Heliquin, thank you for the follow. I'm happy to help the Peacock race, even though we're down 1 versus the Centaur gang. Yeah, Centauria is ahead by, I think maybe 2 by now. I forget. I have to check. Well, good night, Raidif. I hope you have a good one, and, yeah, thank you for the raid. I appreciate that immensely. Also, normally, if I'm playing video games and junk, you would normally see me, my little hold on. My little lady down there is actually a VTuber rig that I drew and rigged myself. So normally she'd be moving around and talking, but because this camera that you are looking through at me arts and crafts, that's the camera that needs to capture my face to make her move. I can't do the live 2D and arts and crafts at the same time, unfortunately. Maybe one day. I sound a little bit like Sandy Squirrel. Oh, I don't have a good southern accent, though. Hey, y'all! Wish I was back in Texas. The ocean's no place for a squirrel. Wish I was in Texas, prettiest place in the world. Oh no. I do not wish I was in Texas. Things are going real bad over there. Anybody who's in Texas, I hope you're doing well. Howdy, y'all! That was amazing, thank you. I appreciate that you think my bad southern accent was amazing. What does Patrick say during it? He's like, cause SpongeBob's going, howdy, y'all, and then Patrick's going, he's saying like, get a dog, little honey. Why does it take more than one squirrel to screw in a light bulb? Cause they're so darn stupid. I take offense to that, SpongeBob. SpongeBob's gonna hear from my lawyer about comments like that. Don't. That's flattering, but I do not think I have that type of skill. I don't think I can talk in a southern accent. I think I could say Sandy's lines because I literally have them memorized. Like, I can hear every audio clip from SpongeBob ever echoing in my brain forever, but I don't think I could, like, just say stuff in a southern accent. I cannot do accents, unfortunately. I'm ready. There's times of the day where just I'll somehow a SpongeBob thing will come to mind with what I'm doing, and my mind will be like, hey, what if we just replayed an entire scene of SpongeBob right now in your mind? And I'm like, alright. I watched SpongeBob a lot as a child, so I have a lot of it memorized. Yeah, I heard that there was, like, the newer episodes, 'cause Steven Hillenburg, like, came back for a while, like, before he unfortunately passed. That he had been back on for, like, a season or something, and, like, it got really good again. There's a birthday episode with the live action actors. I want to see that. I love watching Tom Kenny do anything. And the guy, and I don't remember the name of the guy who does Mr. Krabs, but like, since he was also the dude in Detroit Become Human, it's like really weird to see him. Okay. What should this guy's mouth be shaped like? Because we've got like a sad boy here with a little kind of pointed downward V mouth, and then this guy's kind of got like a W mouth. Mr. Krabs is also Kurgan from Highlander. I haven't seen Highlander in a hot minute. Is that true? Is he? Yeah, Clancy Brown. Clancy. Yeah, I'm sure he's been a lot. Like, all those voice actors are, all extremely, extremely talented, so surely they've done a lot of things. What if I made the mouth and belly button with the green? I think that'd be cool. Oh, and by the by, actually, I feel like I should mention, for any new viewers, if any of you enjoy Monster Hunter, or watching gameplay of Monster Hunter, later this month when Monster Hunter Rise comes out, that's gonna be this stream for the next long while. I love Monster Hunter. It is probably maybe my favorite game series, probably. And I'm out of my mind psyched for Monster Hunter Rise, so you're gonna be seeing a lot of that on this channel. There's gonna be a lot of Monster Hunter. And if you like that kind of thing, I suggest following so you don't miss out on it. Oh, there is uncensored versions of Sailor Mouth. Ah, that's funny. I mean, I figured they probably did, right? I mean, you know, if they're just gonna put, like, sound effects over it, they could probably just say whatever they wanted. I always try to think, like, because the dumpster said crabs is a blank. Okay, if you're gonna do Penelope and Rathalos armor, now that would actually be pretty badass. That'd be pretty kick-ass. I'm down for that. What do you think? Happy V-shaped mouth? We had the other guy with his sad V-shaped mouth, and this guy, they have happy V-shaped mouth. Happy guy. So yes, if y'all like Monster Hunter, if y'all like VTubers, you're in the right place. VTuber Monster Huntering will be happening come March 26th, or whenever my pre-ordered game arrives in the mail. If it doesn't arrive on time on release day, I'm going to probably lose my mind, but whatever. See, I feel like I should maybe, like, since there's so many new people here, I feel like I should, like, introduce myself or something. Talk about myself so y'all get the feel for the vibe. Y'all get so y'all can get a taste of what it's gonna be like here. Well, for starters, when you guys came in, we were talking about dead wrestlers. We were talking about professional wrestling, and we were talking about Mick Foley and how Undertaker threw him through a steel cage at the Hell in the Cell match in 1998, I think. Oh, the Monster Hunter movie? I did not see that film. Oof. I did not. I'm not going to. Well, I may see the Monster Hunter film. I may see it through. I'm sure that I will be able to find a lending link on the internet. I'm sure someone will put up a lending link to just lend me the movie. So maybe I could watch it, but even even Henry was like, I don't think I really even want to watch the Monster Hunter movie because it's just apparently so bad. It's apparently just straight dookie crap. Just poopy doo-doo crap movie. And, you know, Paul W.S. Anderson is like also a horrible man. So, you know, I'm not gonna give that dude any of my hard-earned money, no. Oh, hey, Joe. The trailers look pretty bad. And not in the bad, funny way, yeah. Even Gaijin Hunter, for those unfamiliar, he's like the, one of the big names in the Monster Hunter sort of YouTubing community. He did a lot of the early YouTube content when Monster Hunter was still on like the 3DS and was not very well known outside of Japan. So even he hated the Monster Hunter movie, and he loves like kind of shitty movies. Like, he admitted on Twitter, he was like, I kind of love like crappy movies and I can still like get enjoyment out of them. But even he was like, the Monster Hunter movie, there's just nothing to enjoy here. It just sucked. Oh yeah, he crammed his wife into the leading role again. You know Paul W.S. Anderson. He loves his wife. That's one thing I'll give this man, is that he's a wife guy through and through. Loves his wife. And, you know, I'll give him credit for always, like, casting his wife to do, like, badass stuff. Which I guess that kind of rules. I mean, like, if he was not, like, a horrible man, I would think that's pretty cool. Except he's a horrible man, so I don't appreciate really anything he does. I heard the Sonic movie is actually just kind of like, for the most part, just an enjoyable children's film. Like, most people were like, yeah, it was alright, it was cute. You know, it's silly. That's what most people said about the Sonic movie. You tried watching the Warcraft movie? Yeah, even my dad has been a World of Warcraft guy since the day it launched, and even he did not enjoy the World of Warcraft movie. My dad also is an enjoyer of very bad movies a lot of the time. Even he did not like the WoW movie. If he wasn't gonna like it, there was no way that anyone would. Bought DVDs of it, just haven't gotten around to watching it. People said that, like, Jim Carrey, yeah, like, was being peak Jim Carrey. Let me tell you something about me, guys. That I may have been one of those children that I was really into, like, I loved Jim Carrey movies when I was a kid. I really did. I did. I loved, like, Ace Ventura. I was both terrified by, but also really into, in a weird way, The Mask. I, like, lost my shit when the Series of Unfortunate Events movie came out, and, like, it was, like, announced that he was gonna be Count Olaf. I got super excited because I was really into Series of Unfortunate Events at the time. I loved Jim Carrey. So, to kind of hear that he's just gonna be wacky Jim Carrey in this film, I'm like, alright. Maybe I'll check it out. You're legit excited for the sequel? Hey, we'll see, I guess. I love this song. Oh, I love Rivers in the Desert. I know a lot of people kind of criticized this song when P5 first came out, that they felt like it wasn't as bombastic as, was it whatever the name of the final boss song in Persona 4 was? or like the Battle for Everyone's Soul and like all that. But there's something about like the real, I don't know, there's something about the pace of this song I really like. How it has that like thumping, like kind of slow part, like that steady paced like thumping part, and then it goes into this like, I love it. You absolutely can dance to P5 music. I actually do have the Persona Dancing All Night games on PS4. I have P3 and P5 Dancing All Night, or whatever that. I think it's the one that has all three of them, maybe? I forget. But I did get that as a Christmas gift one year, and I was like, oh shit, yeah! Go watch these teens dress in their cool dancing clothes and just do rhythm games to this sick music. I spent a whole Christmas break doing that, I think in like 2018, I think. It doesn't even sound like Japanese music compared to 3 or 4. It definitely has a Western style influence, because it is like it has like a funky, I mean, Persona soundtracks always have a bit of a funky element to them. I think P4's is, you know, definitely the most kind of poppy one. I'm always conflicted over whether 3 or 5's OST is my favorite. I think it's whichever one I listened to the most recently is my favorite one. Like, if you ask me after this stream, I'll be like, man, Persona 5 soundtrack is just the best one. But then if I listen to Mass Destruction, I'll be like, no, Persona 3 soundtrack is the sickest ever, fuck. You wanna get P5 Royal for Switch? Oh, the Persona 5 Scramble, or no, what is it called it's called Scramble in Japan. It's called something else. Strikers? Yeah, Persona 5 Strikers. It tickles your caveman brain. Yeah, I want to play Strikers really bad too. Keep in mind though, it is a sequel to Persona 5 though, so if you haven't played Persona 5 yet, you will be spoiled on the events of Persona 5. Strikers is a direct sequel, which I do want to play. I actually am very into it. I've never played a Musou game, but I think I would like them, because I do like the Unga Bunga caveman brain of just like, slash the sword and hit a bunch of guys. Wow. One day when I get a new microphone, I will do a karaoke stream and I will sing this song and I will go ape shit. I'll go feral on stream singing this song. Oh, I didn't put in the belly button yet. Am I an idiot? I gotta put in the belly button after we sew this arm on. Don't let me forget. Can't forget the belly button, it's important. You don't care much for the plots? That's fair. That's fair. You know, I actually never found out what happens at the end of Xenoblade 1. 'Cause 2 times has my boyfriend started Xenoblade and not finished it. And I actually do kind of want to know what happens at the end. But I understand that game is kind of challenging to, there's a lot of kind of side questy stuff in there that bogs it down and makes it kind of... And, like, stuff with the combat, apparently, like, the boyfriend got, kinda burnt out on it both times. Both on the Wii and on the Switch. Oh yeah, and Joker is voiced by the guy that is the Smash announcer, yeah. A lady turns out to be a robot and weird and cool stuff happens. That's pretty much the plot, yeah. That's about right. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. While I have a bunch of you in here, I'm gonna re-ask that question that I asked earlier, because I want to get a variety of opinions. Okay. Everybody listening. If you don't know about succulent plants, succulents have the ability, if you take a leaf off a succulent, that leaf can sprout roots and sprout more leaves and grow into its own plant, right? So like taking the leaf off a succulent, you can grow a whole new succulent plant just from that leaf. Now, with knowing that, if you go to a Home Depot or other similar place that sells succulent plants, and you were to, say, pick up the leaves that had fallen off of the plants and maybe fallen onto the shelves or on the ground, if you were to pick those up and take them and then just leave the store, is that stealing? And I'm not saying, like, going and plucking leaves off of, like, plants. I mean, like, picking up... Because if you've ever, like, been, you know, shopping for succulents at a place like that, there's always just leaves that have just naturally, like, fallen off or been bumped off from being moved around and things. So there's always just leaves, like, sitting around all over the place, on the shelves, on the ground, and stuff. If you take some of those leaves and you leave the store with them, is that stealing? We were talking about this earlier. So I would love to hear any of your opinions. If you guys have opinions on this matter, please let me know. I would love to know. Mainly because the store didn't lose anything. Right? It seems that way, right? Like, they don't sell individual leaves. Those are gonna get... Like, those leaves are gonna just get swept up by an employee later and thrown in the garbage, most likely. Aw, your cute plushies made me suggest you for a raid, and you lived up to my expectations. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that greatly. How often do I stream? I usually stream about once a week. I at least have one scheduled stream a week. I stream every Thursday around 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But occasionally, if I'm feeling it, I might, you know, do a random stream on another day of the week, but it'll just be something, like, out of the blue and you know, not planned usually. But Thursday nights are my scheduled stream night. Technically stealing, morally taking them seems fine. Yeah, they can't sell, like, just the little guys, but it still feels like, you know, if you are taking something from a store that you didn't pay for, you still feel like, yeah, it's like, you're not supposed to have it. Like, you're not supposed to have that. You'll tune in for sure? Well, thank you. I have not planned what I want to do next Thursday just yet. Probably a video game something or other. Probably video games. Because I do not just do arts and crafts, I do also do video gamesies. I've actually been going through, because I supported that bundle for racial justice that Itch.io did back in the summer. And I've been going through just games from that from that like big bundle. So maybe I'll check that out. Oh, I also have Omori though. I've been meaning to play Omori because we supported that guy forever ago and it finally came out. We'll see. We'll see what I feel like next week. But yeah, CJS Workshop, thank you for suggesting me and hanging out. I appreciate it. I would be happy to see you again in my stream. Hopefully next time I will be more live 2DE, so I'll actually be moving around. Don't play a game that turns your brains to mush and turns out to be a metagame. No promises. No promises. Dang it, YouTube keeps being like, are you still watching? Are you sure? I'm like, yes, YouTube, shut up. You can't remember how I did that puzzle and don't want to rewatch it? I don't really know how I did it either. I just kind of went all around and eventually... You'll be lurking for the rest of the time, night y'all. Well, good night. I hope you have a good one. Have a good sleepies. Well, the stream won't be going too much longer, because it's already about 12:30. So probably finish up. Maybe we will maybe we'll like draw up the pattern pieces for this guy's succulent flower that's gonna be on his head. And then we'll go to sleepies. Well, I'm not going to sleepies, but the stream will go with sleepies. I'm gonna have dinner. Cause yes, I eat dinner at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cause I don't know. Cause that's just how my life is. So we eat dinner at 1 a.m. I tried to wake up in the morning today. I really tried. And it just didn't happen. We went to bed early last night. I went to sleep at 2 a.m., which for me is very early. Because the boyfriend had to wake up to go to work. And so I went to sleep early. I got a full... What time? I got out of bed at like 10, so that's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 8 hours. I slept 8 hours. Got up at 10. Got out of bed. I ate some yogurt, and I drank my Metamucil. And then I fucking was like, what if I just lay down for like a sec? And I laid down back in bed, and then I woke up, and it was dang like 2 p.m., and I was like, fuck! God damn it, I was supposed to get work done today. I still somehow got the work done I needed to get done today. I don't know how I did it. But I don't understand. I slept 8 hours, but I still just couldn't stay awake in the morning. I don't understand. How do people be awake in the morning? It seems that I physically cannot. Technically, I'm having breakfast. No, I had breakfast actually at like in the morning today. I ate my yogurt at like 10 a.m. I did it. Then I went back to sleep, and then I had second breakfast when I woke up at 2. I've just never been a morning person. Never in my life. Even when I had a job for a long time, for like I guess not a long time. I had a job for a year where I had to get up at 8 a.m. every day, and I just never adjusted to it. I don't know. There's something in my deep in my like DNA that I just am not a morning person. You get 6 hours tops, 3 kids. Oof. That's rough. Oof. See, I just cannot. I really legitimately, for whatever reason, I can't get out of bed and feel like ready to be alive if I've had until I've hit like 9 hours of sleep. And that's probably bad. Like, I mean, that's definitely bad because it makes it so I can't get things done very much. And it's not good. But I don't know. Like, I just can't. I don't know what can be done to make me able to be alive. I've just always needed a lot of sleep. I don't know. Something biologically. Just in my soul, in my cells. Somewhere in there that's like, nah, you gotta sleep a lot. Or else you can't do anything. And I'm like, great, thanks. It also doesn't help that I think 2020 made me, like, perpetually tired. Like, last year I think all my tiredness from last year has built up upon itself, and my sleep debt is now very high. From just all of the, I don't know, stress of 2020. Alright. This lad, he's got a head. You're out of here? Aw, well, thanks for stopping by, Mind to Eye. I will see you next Thursday. Alright. Our lad, he's got a head. He's got a head. Oh, thank you for the subscription, Mind to Eye. I appreciate that greatly. Your subscriptions will go directly into getting groceries. Keep that in mind, any subscriptions will just directly actually help me buy food. Enjoy that emote, by the way. You can use it for any occasion where a stream gets stinky. Oh, there's our guy. He now sees the world and that God created in the God that created him and thinks, what a weirdo. Oh, well, that's about what I'd expect. Wee 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 wee. I'm a little guy. I'm a little guy. Alright. about 12:45. I guess it's about time to get off. Boo! Couldn't finish this dude on stream, unfortunately, but I will finish this lad on my own time. And I'll post a picture of all three of them on social medias when they are done. They cutesies, aren't they? Blap, blap, blap. You're gonna look to see if you can subscribe with PayPal just because mobile makes you use the iTunes store. Ugh, I don't know how any of that works, so I can't help ya. Alright, but that's gonna be it for us this week. We streamed for almost 4 hours, and we made a little guy. If that isn't an accomplishment, I don't know what is. Alright, well, I said this a little bit earlier, but I'll say it again. For anybody who isn't familiar with me, I go by Ultra Pancake on most of the internet. I professionally make plushies for my job. If you enjoy plushies, especially of anime people, that is my specialty. You can check out such things at my social medias. Links are above my head. Also, you can check out my website, ultrapancake.card. Wait, let me point at it. Let me point at it. ultrapancake.card.co, which is the top link right there. That's my official website where you can find information on everything that I do, pretty much all of it. I also have an Etsy store where I have some plushies for sale, if you're interested in that. I also have acrylic pins that I drew the art for and made and sealed with resin. I did all that myself. So if you're interested in cute pins, I have some woodland creatures, as well as one that's shaped like a little pink beetle bug. So if you like stuff like that, check out my Etsy store. You may enjoy what you see. And yeah, I post every commission that I, do, I post on social media. So if you want to see plushies, I have every social media there is. Pick your favorite one. You can probably find me on there. And, yeah, I do VTubing and play video games. I do arts and crafts and all kinds of stuff like that on this stream. So, we're probably going to play a video game next week. Don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out. So if you want to see me in all my VTubering glory, you want to see... Wait, which one is it? No, it's this one. If you want to see this lady here actually move around and move her mouth and blink and talk like a real animated cartoon squirrel, then check me out next week. Well, she'll be activated, and you'll get to see all her comedic stylings, her visual comedy stylings. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Oh yeah, we're gonna go out on a nice chill song. Yeah. Alright. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Oh yeah. We're gonna do more next week. Aw, thank you, Chrono, for always hanging. Alright, yeah. Alright. I'll see all you stinkos in the funny papers. A bye-bye.